Kathmandu. You probably know about the waste issue here in Kathmandu. I don't need to remind you. Back in July of 2006, when private haulers had no place to dump waste, Daegu transfer system was shut down, municipal invoices were destroyed, landfill was closed. What they could do? They brought pretty much all this Kathmandu city solid was in the middle of downtown Kathmandu, in an open air empty. This was the scene for about 2 weeks. If that was not enough, in February of 2007, the major provocators downtown Kathmandu knew in two killed the garbage for all of those Kathmandu. This was the scene in Kathmandu. So, there are some major closures of house of land in the Cisco area. 20 days during the Jan Andolan too, 80 days when government, Ministry of Local Development did not fulfill the agreement with the Blazers. Basically, waste did not come to Cisco for about 80 days. 17 days in 2008, January 2009, and this is a picture of in August of 2007, when private waste haulers went and supplied landfill site was closed, this was the scenario of country's thriving tourist area, Hamel area. That's where the waste was pretty much terrible. This is in front of Commercial Sunset Coast, I think. So altogether, there have been 100 closures in the first 2 years of operation of landfill in Cisco. And on average, 10 closures per month. So this tells me something. The waste management issue here in Kathmandu is very chronic in nature. So I have seen issues in Karachi, Pakistan, Colombo, Sri Lanka, in Bangalore, India, Dhaka, so many other capital cities. But the one in Kathmandu is very, very serious in nature. There is something that you must think about doing. So now let's find out what has been done. Are we only talking about problems? What are the efforts? Okay, I call it medieval period, the earlier exercises. Prime Minister Chandra Samson in 1919 established Safai Adda, sanitary office, basically to administer waste disposal within the palaces, corridors of the city of Kathmandu and down towards nearby abodes. And since then, Kutsi cars have been brought into the main street to tackle this waste. And that Safai Adda was later renamed in 1939 as Municipality Office. And then, from that point onwards, Kutsi cars have been traditionally working with waste management for the Kathmandu Valley. That I call medieval period. It's more of a metaphor. So that's early efforts. All of that is no-sense period, rebirth, reorganization. With the formation of three municipalities in Kathmandu Valley in 1950s, basically the chore of waste management went to local government. And that's a renaissance period. And then the rise in urbanization, more and more different types of waste systems entered into municipal solids in Kathmandu. And there was a need by the government to commission World Health Organization expert, Mr. Flintoff, in 1970. He came up with a 5 set of recommendations, including construction of land at the back of the Shumat area, dividing city of Kathmandu from older Kathmandu and newer Kathmandu, using larger sections in newer Kathmandu to the east of Kathmandu, and older Kathmandu to push out the solids, and forming solid waste management sections, and then a couple others. So the majority of those demands and those recommendations were not fulfilled, and the government quickly found another 8 organizations, in this case, German technical and financial aid organization. And then that was commissioned in 76. They were here to 1990 for 4 different phases. They established over the landfill, taking transfer station within there, the provision of taking transfer station, composting facility. They were also involved in some capacity buckets and learning as well. So they were just working this. They left in 1993, and there was a chaos again all over Kathmandu. And then there was sporadic small fees, sporadic foreign assistance from different entities, European Commission, Asian Development Bank, and other entities. And the mix, there was There was also Indian equipment that came large consignment to help the waste management in the city of Kathmandu. And then for about, I would say, 10 years, from mid-90s to year 2002, waste pretty much went to Bagmati and Vishnumati rivers, to be very honest. And then from January 2004, Japan International Cooperation Agency was involved in some capacity, and now I'm hearing they're not coming back. So it's a big question, what are we going to do for the waste management in Kathmandu now as I speak in this room. So these are some of the effort. Now, in order to uncover why it's been happening the way it's happening in Kathmandu, I conducted this research for 5 years. As an academician, as a student, researcher before I'm interested in how I have put this together. I'm an engineering student, and I have looked this problem from more of the systems perspective, environmental systems analysis perspective. So the way I did is, I divided it in 4 topics: technical, institutional, administrative, and governmental issues. Because as an engineer alone, I couldn't tackle this issue. So I needed to borrow my colleagues' expertise from systems analysis group at the Johns Hopkins. I needed my statistician from University of Wyoming. I needed public health expert from School of Public Health at Johns Hopkins, and so many others. So I looked at it from systems perspective, from more than one different angle. The first topic was, within a technical, waste generation characterized and management. One ought to know, the generation statistics, the composition of the waste, and how much is coming, what is the trend, all that stuff. And then the institutional analysis, the setup of policy at the national level as well as local level, how they work, where is the fix that desperately is the solution for it. And then resource management, what are the human and technical resources that are allocated to tackle this issue. And governance, what is the governance record at the local level as well as national level. I need to examine that. And towards the end, the effectiveness of 4 and 8. We talked about Nepal. 75% of development expenditure come from 4 and 8, and solid waste is no exception. We need to analyze that. So this is how I look at this problem. So I hope at the end of the day, if any, you will take something out of me from my approach and perhaps will apply in your own research. That is my intent. So the methods. The methods was, I had a 2 large-scale survey, pre-sampling, or I call it pilot study. Prior to that, I had an exploratory visit, then pre-sampling. For any large-scale field study, you need a sample size. As a statistician, you probably know that. Sample size. And based on that sample size, there was a field study. Another large-scale field study. So there were 2 large-scale surveys within the Kathmandu city. And engineering waste characterized now municipal solid waste system. One in pre-sampling, doing the pilot study, the other one doing the field study. And interviews, structured interview, as well as focused group interviews in solid waste infrastructure, wherever the facilities are located. And site investigation of the solid waste infrastructure, and major visits by myself, my mentors from the US, 4 of them, some last a few months. And finally, massive literature survey. With that, these are my first 2 research questions. The first one is technical. Basically, understanding waste statistics and generation pattern. That is one question in the city of Kathmandu. Number 2 is called understanding of management and its effectiveness in the city of Kathmandu. Let's put it that. Those are 2 research questions. I'm going to try to walk over and answer it in the next 2 slides here. Okay? In pre-sampling that was conducted for 2 weeks in the city of Kathmandu, in 200 households, we got the demographic information needed from the city of Kathmandu, as well as the preliminary waste generation at the household level. On the top of that, we got familiar with the layout of the city of Kathmandu, geography, topography, people, all that. So at the end of the day, after 2 weeks of study, we came up with the city sector no. Because for any study, you're going to come up with a way how you're going to identify your wards, your household. Basically, we use two-stage stratified cluster sampling here. And on that, we derive the north out of 6 city sectors. This one is east, this one is city center, city core north, city core south, west, and north. Among those, this falls into high income category. So 52% of people in this area are in high income category. Then this falls into a higher middle income category with 28%. Then this falls into lower middle along with city core north, lower middle, and then low income. When I say low, lower middle, high middle, and high income, there's a category. Zyka used this, and others have done. World Bank has done also 0 to 7,000 rupees. 0 to 7,000 Nepalese rupees per month of income. Low 7 to 15,000. Lower middle 15 to 20,000. High middle and above 20,000 Nepalese rupees income per month as a high income. So that's how I was able to stratify city of Kathmandu socio-economy. And that information was combined with European Commission's Kathmandu Valley mapping program's percentage of poor building structure in each of the ward. Based upon those two information, I was able to divide the city of Kathmandu in 4 different strata. Because 6 strata was a little bit too much. The statistician told me I need about 4 to optimize it. So I went ahead with the 4 strata in my field study that I'll be talking throughout the research. Okay, by the way, if you are interested, I'll talk about it. The data from my pilot has been already published in waste management research. I have the manuscript if you are interested. You can go over. Survey map of Kathmandu. This was the map, in a way, the earlier map helped me to come up with. So, within the ward boundaries, the numbers you see, the number of households that were represented for the field study. Wherever you see 0, randomly that ward did not take part in the study. Wherever you see 16, there were 2 clusters. That per cluster we had 8 households, 16 households. 2 of the largest ones, one of 16 and 6, have 24 households. That were 3 clusters. So pilot study gave us sample size of 273, and turnout in pilot study was 84%. That means out of 200, 168 was successfully surveyed. So to get within 84%, to get 270, I needed 325 households. So just for the sake of making it easier, with the given amount of field scientists I had from Tribhuvan University, I went ahead instead of 336 total households for the field study. Okay? So if you add all the 16 and 24, you get 336 households. And then you see other equivalents here. So 3 restaurants, 3 hotels, 3 schools, and 4 100-meter stretches of intersection of the streets were also utilized. Because my goal was in the field to come up with the total municipal solid waste generation in the city of Kathmandu. So I need to account those as well. So I use 3-stage stratified cluster sampling for households, whereas for them I use a simple random sampling. Okay? And then, before I talk too much about facility here in the city of Kathmandu for waste management, let me give you a quick overview of the infrastructure. This is the city of Kathmandu. I think Tribhuvan is right here. That's Tribhuvan University institution, I think. And then that's the Sundari Ghat area, the closed dump. The one in this part are the dump. It's a black closed. Then you have a Balku area dump site just up north. Then you have a transfer station. Then you have up north, Subha closed dump. Then you have a proposed transfer station below, but that never came in effect. Then you have a DSUV dump site near International Airport in Pasupati area, closed. Then you have Gopana land and another land in the eastern end of the city of Kathmandu. And some 28 kilometers northwest, Cisco and proposed Bansai down the land. Okay? With that, let's go over some of the results from our field study. Household study of the free sampling of pilot study gave us pretty much the trend that is seen in the literature. With the rise in income, there was a rise in waste generation. Per capita, waste is gram per person per day. And almost every city or south, that falls into low income, goes to the high as you go across the north. So that trend was held true for the piloting study.